Welcome back to the Social Impact Level Up podcast. This is where we blur the lines between business, nonprofit, and impact. I'm your host, Wendie V, and I'm a social impact strategist here to help you build a successful and sustainable legacy of social change. In this week's episode, we're going to hear from a social entrepreneur who has been on a journey to change the world just like you. If you are interested in social entrepreneurship, this is the place for you. Let's jump right into this week's episode. All right, we are here, and it is the Social Impact Level Up conversation with Professor Rao. I want to share an amazing and inspirational story with you, coming all the way from India. We found each other on LinkedIn. We're linked through our network, and I'm so glad that he reached out. He has an incredible and inspiring story to share. He also has several books that we'll get to at the end of the conversation because I want to hop right in and make sure I learn all about how he has been making an impact with his message. So, Professor Rao, thank you for being here all the way from India. I'm so happy to have you. This podcast is all about social entrepreneurship and how we make a difference in the world. So the first question I want to ask you is, how are you using your superpowers to make a difference in this world?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And first of all, let me share with you the fact that I had brain stroke more than a year, and my entire right of the body was paralyzed. So I am recovering. I am still recovering. I'm using blood thinner. So I have so many challenges, and it's because of the positive psychology and because of my willpower and because of the power of my subconscious power, I am recovering so fast. So really, this interview is very close to me, especially because I am recovering from my brain.
Mm-hmm. And so, how are you making an impact with your message that you're sharing to people about your recovery?
So I told you, no, the recovery is everything is possible in this world. Never ever give up. Life is great. Okay, so be positive and believe in yourself. And there are certain messages I would like to share with you. Is especially my philosophy in life is health first, education second, and wealth third. And I have authored more than 50 books. One of the books titled "See the Light in You," for which the Nobel laureate His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a foreword. I should show you with the book. This is the book I am holding, for which His Holiness Dalai Lama, Nobel laureate, has written a foreword for this book.
And it's
And
about mindfulness, wellness, happiness, and success. That's what it says in the front of the book.
yes,
So those are the themes that we're talking about today, everyone, and what we can learn from Professor Rao as he has had quite a journey. And as you can hear, he had health challenges. He even was able to get Dalai Lama to write a foreword for his book, which is amazing. And I just want to say, I love your message about health being first, and then education, and then wealth, right? Those were the three that you gave us. So I wanted to reinforce that for you guys: health, education, and wealth. And you also said something really important: anything is possible. And I
yeah.
see that in your story of recovery. You said that you've used your mindset and you've used mindfulness in order to recover. Can you tell us more about how you did that?
Yeah. Uh, First of all, let me share with you about my journey with mindfulness. I have written a book on mindfulness, and I requested His Holiness Dalai Lama to write a foreword. Then he has written the manuscript. Then he liked my book. Then he has written a foreword for my book. So
Mhm.
this is how the journey of with His Holiness Dalai Lama has begun in my life. And unfortunately, I was bedridden and I am recovering. Now coming to the point of wellness, we need to emphasize on wellness and mindfulness, in the current context, especially after the coronavirus, things have changed. But we need to emphasize more on mindfulness, wellness. And when you look at corporates also, they are emphasizing more on mindfulness because
Mhm.
there are so many challenges. Globally, we find divorces are rising, and mental illness and other health issues are rising. So we have to address all those challenges. We need to emphasize on work-life balance. So there are various aspects I have covered in this book.
Yeah, and it's so aligned with what I do because I tell people in order to help others, you have to live wellness first. And you can't do things for others when you don't take care of yourself. And I hear in your message the same thing. It starts with you knowing yourself and your routines and what you can do to make change if you need to. And it looks like mindfulness is a tool that people can use. And I know I'm confused sometimes when you think about mindfulness. What is included in it as a concept? Like, what does it mean to be mindful? Can you say a little bit more about what's in the book? Like, what do you tell people about what mindfulness is and how it's beneficial to them?
Okay, and you have already said some of the points. So happiness lies with us, not from outside. Okay, this is one of the points I have mentioned in my book
Mhm.
on wellness. Now, coming to the wellness, wellness is very much beneficial in the uh, current context, and it is more relevant in the years to come because so many challenges are going to take place. The life has become more complex. So we need to emphasize more on mindfulness in the future. So now, what we have to do is we have to emphasize on living in the present. You have to be mindful, and you must learn to live in the present. You should not think about the unpleasant past. Let bygones be bygones, but don't worry about the future, which can't be predicted. So learn to live in the present. So in my case, I would like to share some of the challenges. I was born in a toxic family and grew up in a toxic environment, and I was not blessed with a regular education. And we served in the Indian Air Force, that is Indian military, for
Mhm.
12 years. And I was not blessed with a regular education. So I acquired education through continuous learning. This is how my journey has started in my life. So, despite having so many challenges, despite being a dyslexic, despite with the ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, despite being growing up in a toxic family, a toxic environment, I'm not giving up. Despite being a survivor of brainstorm, I'm not giving up. So what we have to emphasize is uh, we should believe in ourselves, and we should emphasize mindfulness, and eh, keep going in a right direction, so that you add value to others and learn to lead your life purpose and meaning.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of truth in your message about living for right now rather than worrying about the future and worrying about the past.
Yeah.
And thinking about how all of our life is so complex. There's always, more social pressures, more things changing, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
And as we're doing that, we can get overwhelmed, we can feel hopeless, we might get depressed or anxious. And all of those are mental health problems that you were just saying are raising, and I think they've been raising for a few years because of isolation and so many changes, money pressures, all kinds of different things that people are going through. And it's exhausting. So it's great to hear someone like you, who's an expert and has put books out about this, say, hey guys, it's not that hard. It's pretty simple. Let's work on our work life balance. Let's
Yeah.
make sure we're taking care of our health. Let's make sure we get ourselves educated on the things we need to be doing to move forward as people with our intellectual wellness. And then always thinking about how do we live for our right now in our experience as humans. And I love all of those things because it's very aligned with what I say in my content, in my podcast, and all of my things that I put out. Because we forget and we make things overcomplicated and we fall further down that spiral.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
negativity.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you rightly said. Yeah, you rightly said.
Yeah. So can you tell me more about what it means to just grow up in India? A lot of my audience is American, and I've traveled extensively all over Africa and other countries, so I know what it means to grow up with a toxic environment in another country. But can you just say what is it like to grow up in India for people? What did you experience? Were you in a big city? Were you in a rural part of India? Tell us a little bit more what that experience is like.
Uh, I, I was born in India, and I served my country. That is the Indian Air Force. I worked, and India is the second largest populated country in the world. India is a very complex country because so many religions, ethnicities, and communities, languages. So, so India is a very unique country and a great country. So I am very proud that I was born in India, and it's an honor to be an Indian. So India is a very complex country, and India is still growing, and still it takes some more years for India to grow and to become a developed country. So I'm very much bullish about India, and definitely India will uh, grow much faster. And also, when you look at some of the CEOs from India, like Amazon, Satya Nadan, the Google CEO, Adobe CEO. Recently, I think also some of the CEOs there from India. When you look at even Vice President of uh, America, she's origin of India. So like that, India is growing. So India is a very complex country, but a unique country. And, we believe in unity in diversity. So India is really a amazing country, but we have so many challenges, and it takes a lot of time for us to overcome the challenges to grow as a developed country in the near time.
And it's so well, I want to travel to India, so maybe one day we'll meet in person. But I love the idea of spirituality and daily life and commerce and business and all of those things that I enjoy talking about are actually really big in India. Because I'm a Reiki practitioner, so I love energy healing. I love all of those types of things. And India has a lot to offer in all of those spaces of spirituality. So I want to go and visit. And I think what you said about it taking generations for countries to move forward is very true. But India is one of the oldest cultured place where all the civilizations have met on trade routes. It's like way longer than a lot of us can even fathom. India has been a populated geographic area. But because it was the middle of everything, and as you said, there's so much of an eclectic set of cultures, languages, and religious beliefs that
Yeah,
it almost makes it difficult to operate, to move everybody together in a way, because you do have so many things that could clash or that have
yeah,
historically clashed. And
correct.
in order to develop, you have to kind of have this collective idea of where you're going. And so I hope that people like you are able to be thought leaders in what that looks like.
Now, let me add one more point. India emphasizes on universal brotherhood because Mahatma Gandhi was born in India, and we follow the ideals of and non-violence and peace,
Mm.
and we believe in we emphasize universal brotherhood, and yoga is very famous in the world, and yoga is nowhere connected with any particular religion. So people have a myth that yoga is connected with one particular religion. The fact is that yoga is no way connected with any particular religion. Anyone can do yoga, and yoga is widely respected across the world.
Yeah, yoga is a great practice. I practice the motion part of yoga, but people don't realize that
Oh,
there's so much other parts of yoga that include,
yeah, yeah,
meditation and other things.
yeah,
And and there's different forms of yoga, even I've learned in documentaries. And so,
yeah,
I've been following the yoga movement for a while, but I think it's one of the things that mainstream has caught on as an exercise rather
yeah.
than a set of practices or a lifestyle. But Indians practice yoga in a completely different way.
You're correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think people realize that.
No, no. Yoga is widely practiced, and even when you look at Buddhism, it started from Hinduism. And but again, don't let us not get confused with yoga with other religions. Yoga
Mhm.
is widely practiced, and people are practicing irrespective of countries, irrespective of religions. So yoga is the thing which is the key, and it is very much essential not only today in the near future, and there is more emphasis on yoga, which is again related to this mindfulness and wellness.
I was just going to say, yoga is a great way if you are confused about how to be in the moment. Yoga as a physical practice has very much helped me be in the moment because the physical and mental connection and the breathing are very relaxing, but also
Yeah,
can be very strenuous depending on what you're doing. And when you're either relaxing or strained, you don't really
yeah,
want to think about anything else.
yeah,
Usually
yeah, yeah, correct,
you're
correct.
there in the moment.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We live in the present.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You're encouraged to be in the present, otherwise you might
yeah,
fall.
yeah.
So yeah, and I love the balance aspects and all the things of the physical part, but I have very much practiced more in meditation to calm the mind and to
Yeah.
be in a state to receive all of the blessings and things, the ideas, all of the things that need to come to you. Because when you're thinking too much, your mind keeps going. You may be great at producing, but you're maybe not so great at receiving. So, as you've been healing, what are some of the changes you've had to make to heal in order to get to where you are today? Because you obviously, I mean, if you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have any idea that you had any health challenges. But if you could tell anyone, what or the major changes that you made, like maybe one you could recommend if someone is struggling with a physical health challenge.
There are various aspects of yoga, and let me share with you. We also do meditation, and we are having underwater meditation. Pe- An individual can go inside the water for a few seconds. Then again, he come to the top. So we have
Wow.
this is water meditation. And, it was practiced in the epic. I think let me recall account AP, Duryodhana was there. He believed in this underwater meditation. That
Wow.
means he went beneath the water. Then he suspended his activities for a uh, few few moments. Then again, he came over the water. So this is known as a underwater meditation, which is very unique. And according to the epic, people follow this uh, concept known as underwater meditation, which is very unique.
I'm
I
going to
hope
Google it after
yeah,
this.
yeah,
I want to see
un-
what it looks like.
underwater meditation. So it
So
was
you've
founded
done this
by
yourself. You did it?
no, no, no. I
Oh,
didn't do
okay.
it, but since I am a swimmer, so I did, but I got to do it for a very long time. I just do
Oh,
it
so
for
you did
only
try it, but not for a
I,
long, long time.
no, no, long. It's not possible for me. So
Even
I'm
for a
telling you,
swimmer, it's hard.
uh,
Even
pardon
for
me.
a swimmer, it's hard.
I was a swimmer, but I have some limitations. I can't suspend
Oh,
my
in the
breath for a
yeah,
long time. So that was the challenge for
the
for
physical
me. But
challenge.
there are some people they go below the water and follow this underwater meditation for a very long
I,
time, which
yeah,
is not possible for me. It is not
It's not
possible for me.
possible for me either. I'm afraid of water in my face. I don't even know what the fear is called, the technical fear, but I don't like water in my face. So
Yeah.
I like to swim with my head above water.
Come and
No, I don't know to like watch face of the water girl. I love it. Well, it's been wonderful hearing from you. And I'm so excited you told me about this new thing. I'm gonna Google it. So if you haven't heard of this before, it's called underwater meditation. And Professor Rao has tried it, so you know it works. But not for long.
because I'm a swimmer. Of course, I'm not swimming for more than 1.5 years because of the brain stroke and other health issues. So hopefully, once I'm back to feet and back to the track, I will start uh, swimming, because swimming is also good to overcome the paralysis and other things. So
Yeah.
hopefully I'll get back to the feet. Then start swimming. I don't remember I don't recall that one American president. His body was paralyzed. I forgot his name.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but he was I can't
Well,
recollect right now because of the health issues. He was president of America. He was
oh,
paralyzed.
Eisenhower.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry.
I was like, which one are you
Yeah,
talking about? Now I found it.
Yeah, because I read his biography also. So many I read the so many biographies in my lifetime. I'm 59 years old. I'm a continuous learning right from birth to till date. Still, I am reading. I have read thousands of books during my lifetime. Okay, so especially let me share with you that Abraham Lincoln has been my inspiration since my childhood.
I love
Yeah,
Abraham Lincoln. Me too. I One of my
really.
first books was a children's book about Abraham Lincoln.
And the word team of rivals, team of rivals, very good book. Based on that, Abraham Lincoln's biopic has been made. It was
Yeah.
a Hollywood movie.
So
Okay, yeah.
I live in Maryland, which is in the middle of the United States on the East Coast, and an
Uh-huh.
hour from me is Gettysburg, and so you can
Uh-huh.
go into where he gave the Gettysburg Address. It's only an hour away. So every time I go there, I'm always in awe of President
Uh-huh.
Lincoln and the whole thing. And I think I love that you said, you read a ton of books, you keep physically active, you meditate, you still
Uh,
try to push your body to make sure you're getting back into your recovery. So if people are recovering from physical illness or even mental illness, things that they're recovering from, these are the mindfulness practices. They're not all under the mindfulness umbrella. But if you
yeah.
do them in a way that is mindful, you are bringing the wellness into your own life, particularly looking at, books and other stories to inspire you to keep moving forward on your journey. And I think I hear in you read these books and you are inspired to keep moving forward. So I love your message. Do you want to, speaking of books, pull up your book again so people can see it? Can you tell us where they can find your book online and where they can find you online?
I'm available online. My books are available on various social media platforms, especially on Amazon. They Google my name, Professor M.S. Rao. They can find my books. I have published 50 books. And this book is very close to my heart. You have seen it, right?
Yes, see the light
In
in
the
me.
light in He's always the man. This is one of the most favorite books in my lifetime. And so I'm available on what they call Amazon, and I have two YouTube channels. Uh, I keep sharing my knowledge freely with the world. So this is how I am leading my life, despite having mental challenges, physical challenges, and financial challenges. I'm not giving up, and I'm very happy with my life the way I am leading, despite so many challenges. Because one has to be happy with what they have. At the same time, they should try uh, their best to add value to others and make a difference in the lives of others.
Oh, I love that. And it's so aligned with my message. I always tell folks, You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. You can continue to make an impact and inspire others to change their lives and make an impact as well. So it sounds like you are on the train with me. And I know I met you on LinkedIn. So folks can find you on YouTube, they can find you on LinkedIn, they can find you on Amazon. So these are major platforms. If you like what you heard today from Professor Rao, please find him on one of these platforms, besides here on the Social Impact Level Up podcast. So our podcast is all for social entrepreneurs who are trying to change the world. And I just want to thank you so much, Professor Rao, for being here with us, for sharing your message. Don't forget, what were the 3 words you said? It was your
Uh,
wellness,
health,
health,
health, health first,
education,
education second, and wealth third.
and wealth the third. So there
So
you go, folks.
this is the message from my book is health first, education second, and wealth third.
So
This,
if you are
this is the
looking,
slogan.
so people are usually looking for the wealth. And they think they can get that that's the first. So
They
you're
get
telling us,
wealth, then they compromise their health and other things. So that's,
right? Yeah.
they do it wrong. What happens is when you are healthy, then you will be wealthy.
Yes, and you have in order to educate, in order to be wealthy, you have to educate yourself throughout the process, and you have
Yeah,
to.
you said, yeah. That's why first health first, education second, and wealth. Okay.
Yes. Oh
So
my gosh, I love that.
education is the weapon in this world. Okay. We are having education. You can conquer the world. Education, character are very important. They are the pillars of life. So this is my message to everyone. Character and education both are very much essential in life, so that you can lead your life peacefully, happily, and mindfully.
Yes. Oh yes, I love it. Well, thank you for wrapping the episode up. I really appreciate you being here today. This is the Social Impact Level Up podcast, and this has been a very special episode, part of our season 2, where we are talking to people who are making an impact in this world. And I just want to thank you so much for taking the time all the way from India to be here with us today. Thank you for everything that you do, and I hope that you keep making an impact just like Professor Rao is.
Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.
Namaste. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Social Impact Level Up podcast. It's been awesome to interview today's guest, and I hope that you leave inspired to take action. If you're looking for any of the information we spoke about, it's probably down in the show notes. Make sure that you're checking them out and you're clicking on any of the links that seem exciting to you. If you are looking for a coach or a consultant to help you with your social impact or your sustainability, reach out to me via my website, hop on my email list, or jump into one of my programs. All of the links are below. So excited to have you as part of the collective. Make sure that you come back and join us for another episode next week.